Mr. Donald Dick was born in Edmonton, Alberta on December 18, 1923. He worked for the Powell River Company in the summers of 1947 and 1948, then returned the next year with a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering from the University of Alberta. This was the start of his 65-year career, mostly in the pulp and paper industry. Early on, Dick followed the advice of one of his university professors, who stated, "When beginning your career, move to a new job every 2 years to continue learning." The companies he moved to included H.A. Simmons Consulting Engineers, where he supervised the structural department, followed by the plant engineering office at Macmillan Bloedel Harmach Pulp Mill in Nanaimo, British Columbia, then to Northwestern Pulp and Power in Hinton, Alberta, where he was appointed plant engineer. In 1957, he moved to Eastern Canada, where he managed products for Power Corporation of Canada, then for Stone and Webster Canada. In 1969, he established his own consulting engineering firm in Toronto, which subsequently became known as Dick Engineering Incorporated. Don's son Bill joined the firm in 1976. While the firm began to diversify, Don continued to focus on the pulp and paper industry. At a time when the engineering firms were consolidating, Dick Engineering was able to compete with much larger firms by being a boutique offering to perform selected projects with great care, interest, and efficiency. To live up to this motto, Don researched the latest developments in the forest products industry so that the firm was able to provide state-of-the-art designs and stay ahead of the industry trends. While at Power Corporation, Don was responsible for the development of Kruger's Turcotte Mill in Montreal, which was one of the first container board mills based entirely on post-consumer recycled paper and harvested from a large urban center, often referred to as a mini mill. He went on to further this concept with smaller mills for Reed Paper, now Cascades, Sunoco, and Selby Paperboard, now Westrock. In the late 1980s, new regulations and public pressure to encourage the use of recycled fiber provided an opportunity for Don's firm to build on its experience with waste paper. Don became a well-respected expert on the de-inking and bleaching of white grades of recycled fiber used for newsprint, publication papers, and tissue. The firm also developed an expertise in paper machines, the selection, layout, and installation of new machines, as well as the rebuilding and conversion of existing machines. Using its knowledge and experience, the firm was able to design greenfield mills and mill conversions upgrades for clients such as Papelis Nationales, Kruger, City Forest, which is now Clearwater, Weyerhaeuser, Orchids Paper, Cascades, and ST Tissue, which is now TAC Investments. While Don's firm did work for many of the large established paper companies, the entrepreneurs that were able to create new businesses or redevelop existing mills held a special interest for Don throughout his career. In the case of the Pope and Talbot Mill in Ladysmith, Wisconsin, Don was able to steer the entrepreneurial development team away from its original concept of creating a market de-inked pulp mill, and instead redeveloping the mill to focus on tissue making using the latest technology. The mill became known as City Forest and was subsequently acquired by Clearwater Paper. The Abitibi newsprint mill in Pine Falls, Manitoba had been acquired by the employees and was struggling to sell its product because it lacked recycled content. Working with the employee group, Dick Engineering was able to play a fundamental role in the successful redevelopment of the mill. The employees were then able to sell the mill to Tembec, which eventually closed the mill due to the declining market for newsprint. In March 1951, Don married Jenny, a Norwegian-born registered nurse who has been the love of his life. In addition to his son Bill, they raised 3 daughters. Over his career, Don had professional affiliations with the Professional Engineers of British Columbia, Alberta, Ontario, and Quebec, as well as the CPPA and TAPI. Don worked on projects throughout Canada and the United States. His projects also took him to various other parts of the world, often accompanied by his wife, including Mexico, El Salvador, Puerto Rico, Cuba, Colombia, Chile, Venezuela, the United Kingdom, Italy, Spain, India, and China. After resisting offers from several larger firms, Don and Bill decided to sell Dick Engineering in 2013. The firm was sold to KSH Solutions of Montreal and became known as KSH DEI Solutions Incorporated, with Bill as the executive vice president and Don as a senior consultant. Dick Engineering had worked with KSH on a previous project, and Don and Bill believed it would be a good match for Dick Engineering's culture. Don retired in 2015.